Hey, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. It was another crazy day for me. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But I got a quick and simple question for you today. What do you want? Coming into 2018, you got to know what you want. You got to know, what do you want out of your trading? Where do you want this to lead? Do you want to work your way into, you know, personal freedom where you can spend time with your family and do the things that you want to do? Do you want to work your way into financial freedom? What do you want? I had to stop and think about this when I started this journey, because I found myself caught up in a trap that most people who are in a chat room and want to do this, they're in that same trap. I wanted to be entertained. I found a group, had guys that posting these incredible gains, and I was like, yeah, this is it. And I was just being entertained and thinking that one day, if I stay here long enough and I listen long enough and I listen to what they're doing, that it's gonna jump on me. It doesn't work that way. And too many of us want to be entertained. Too many of us just, you want to get that feel good thing, say, okay, look at what he's doing, I can do it too. No, this is the main reason why I stream my platform live every day, win, lose, or draw. Some days it's embarrassing as hell. I mean, it is. But it's all part of learning. You got to know what it's really about. I'm not a good audio person where I can just put together a cool video. I'm just a simple guy, straightforward. I'm a one-man band, and that's the way I like it. That's the way I want it to be. But you have to know what you want personally, and you're gonna have to go out and get it. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to invest in you. How can you expect other people to invest in you when you're not willing to invest in yourself? It doesn't matter how much money you have, you still have to do something. If you're gonna make it in this industry, you're gonna have to put in the work. You're gonna have to do something. You can't sit back and be entertained and then expect eventually this is just gonna fall into your lap. And I mean, I was the same way. I was like that. It's like if I hang out here and I start watching this and everything starts to clicking, it's gonna happen for me. But that's not the way it works. So we have to decide what we want out of this. Do we want financial freedom? Do we want personal freedom? Do we want both? Because I'm going to tell you, I had to make that decision, because as a father, the worst feeling in the world is not being able to provide things for your children so that to enhance their growth. How hard is it to not be able to buy a good baseball bat or a good pair of cleats, or just a basketball or a basketball goal so that they can practice at the house? How hard is it as a parent to know that you can't do these things? I'm telling you, I was there. It hurts. I mean, it rips your heart out of your chest. And I never, ever want to go back to do that again. And I knew when I made that decision that this is what I was going to do. And when I got to the point where I felt, I don't think you're ever ready to make a complete transition in your life, but I stepped out on faith. I believed in myself. I believed in what I was able to accomplish. And I knew I had a long way to go. But I knew what I wanted. And that's what drove me. That's what helped drive everything that I did from that point on. So we have to know, you have to know what you want moving forward. You know, I have too many people that come through that never takes advantage of what I offer. And they just, you know, move from here to there, they come back, but you got to take advantage of what's here. I have everything that you need to get to where you want to be in trading. You know, but you got to dig it out. You know, I'm not going to mine it for you. So just one question that you want to answer for yourself. Think about it. We're just getting going into this year. We're going to make this the best year. It's already starting out 10 times better than last year. So, you know, we're going to make this an incredible year. You know, I made a commitment to not sit there to, you know, grind to make it happen. And that's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so let's take a look at some trades. And yeah, I made an ass of myself today as well. But, you know, I always find some way to save face. But I was trading DAL. This was on my watch list. Probably had a little tunnel vision because I didn't have, you know, I wasn't real happy with some of the other stocks that I was going to trade. But you can see we put in this big 5-minute candle here. And again, one of my pet peeves, one of my MOs is not waiting for the 5-minute opening range to break. And I rushed this. I got in, you know, hoping and knowing that hope is not a tactic. I'm hoping that we flush right down to this and then we get a bounce going into the conference call. It didn't happen. This held up and, you know, I ended up stopping out. Okay, here. We rejected here. Started to come down. I got in right under the you know, right under the 20-day, I mean the 100-day. Got two covers here and ended up stopping out. Ended up shorting again and getting stopped out. I'm like, what in the world? You know, what am I doing here? And then I went long and got stopped out. So I was just all over the place. I could not get a bead on what this was doing. And I knew that if this didn't work, I needed to just wait until the conference call was over and then take it. And had I done that, I would have made some money on this. But I didn't. I ended up digging a $329, $330 hole out of the gate, just chasing this. Nine trades, 9 tickets. Well, not really 9 tickets. 9 tickets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just depends on how many 9 trades, but how many tickets filled just depends on, you know, how many times it clicked. But just, you know, I had no words for this, so I had to move on from that. So got in Walmart. That really wasn't any much better. Okay, here I'm thinking, you know, we're going to short this. We're starting to roll back over. I want to short this. Here's 5-minute opening range low. I don't know what the, you know, I was thinking under VWAP. No. Ended up getting stopped out here. And this cost me, you know, only $128, $130. You know, so that was a quick in and out. So I was done with that. So you can see my morning was not going very well. So SIG came along and this saved the day. Okay, this was a news play. You know, it didn't hit my scan or anything. And I traded this yesterday. But some news came out on it. And we were bouncing off of the VWAP. So I was sitting here watching it. And as soon as I clicked on it, I saw volume coming in. And I jumped in it. Now, I couldn't really tell you guys in chat till you saw this happening. But I couldn't really talk about it until after I did it. I caught it, or I was talking about it as it was happening. And, you know, this is just one of those trades where you have to be ready. You know, if the opportunity is there, as a day trader, you have to be ready to jump on something like this. And, you know, I quickly assessed this, assessed the volume coming in, you know, said, here's a good target here. I still messed up the covers. You know, I still took it off a little bit too early, but solid trade. I mean, I just continued to nail this. I should have held this last piece up, you know, to try to catch the 20-day from the daily, but I ended up just taking it off. And this was just a product of the hole I dug for myself that morning. If I hadn't have dug this hole, I probably would have traded this a lot better. So this was an okay trade. It wasn't clean, but I did make some money on it. Wait for the pullback, got back in here, covered some through here, and then got short, and, you know, nailed it back down to VWAP. So 916.67 on this, on all of this. Had 21 tickets on it, and I nailed it. You know, now that I'm not an insured trader, that commissions are not killing me. You know, 28 tickets, only 36 bucks. You know, not bad for commissions. The ECN fees I can fix. I've got to change. You know, right now I'm just, it's going to the house route, but what I need to do is change it back to ARCA, and I can work some of that down. But, you know, pretty pleased with this. This trade saved the day. This trade really saved the day. But I did take another losing trade, COST, and this was a news play too. And once the real news came out about Sam's Club, I thought we were going to fall back at least to VWAP. So I got in, and when it looked like we were coming back, I shorted it, and it just didn't work. We put in a bull flag here, and we popped it. So I ended up getting stopped out here. Only gave it $1. Yeah, I wanted to put in at 50 cents. I had it at $1, wanted to change it to 50 cents, but my internet went out for a couple of minutes, and by the time I got it back on, it, you know, this was gone back up to the $1, so I had to stick with the $1. But, you know, 102 loss, you know, it's okay. So I had a kind of a rough day, but, you know, sticking to it and having one good trade and nailing it is what got me over the hump. So I only made $319.88 today, but I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay. After the day I had yesterday, you know, I will take it. Now on the swing trading fronts, you know, I got in CARS. I'm looking for the bounce here and the push back up through a 52-week high and the breakout through it. It didn't do anything today. I got in almost right at the top, you know, while it was going. I gave it a little bit of time to kind of prove to me that we were going to go. As soon as I got in, it started selling back off. And we never got back up to 31.50. But, you know, my stop is back below this, the low of this candle. So, you know, we're still working. We still made a higher low. So tomorrow we're going to see if this is going to continue to push. So, you know, holding this swing, And SIG, this is from yesterday. I'm still holding it. You can see it didn't make any progress. This is where we got in, and you know, it actually went up. You know, I'm looking for it to fade and close this gap. It actually went up. But I'm in this for the long term. I'm pretty sure that we're going to come back. You know, I've got a big stop, a huge stop, because I've got a huge profit target. So I probably, if we close back over here tomorrow, or we look like we are just gaining some momentum to the upside, then I'll get out tomorrow and then get back in on Monday. You know, I won't hold it over the weekend. I'm not worried about taking the hit, because I could, you know, easily get it back. But we'll see how that works out tomorrow. You know, and this is just one of those days. This is a typical swing trading day. You know, the last couple of days have been atypical because you normally don't hit your first targets on the first day you enter. And it just so happened that I hit my target on the second day on AAOI, and then it turned and stopped me out on the profit stop I had. And the other trade, I can't remember the ticker, I got bought in at, you know, that just happens. But typically you don't have swing trading profits every day. Most of the time I'm dealing with stuff like this, and I have to wait a couple days in order to take some profit. But, you know, all in all, a pretty decent day. Didn't mess up my week. So we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to come back strong and see if we can finish this week out on a high note. We got Friday. And, you know, historically, Fridays have been pretty good for me. So, not going to force it. I'm going to take my time and work it out. But, you know, we'll get there. Now, to answer one question I had, you know, somebody asked me the question on one of the videos. Then I got an email today, you know, about why I don't do live videos. Well, I trade live in the room. So I'm not trying to record my screen and then edit it and then just show you the wins. It doesn't work that way. You know, trading does not work that way. When you're watching people's edited live videos, you're not getting the feel for what trading is really about. You're just being entertained. And it's giving you a false sense of what everything is about. So you really want to get in a room where you could see trading happen live. You want to see the trades happen tick by tick and every day. Not just on the good days. You're going to, like in my community, you're going to see the good days and the bad days. In October, we had a lot of bad days. And everybody saw it. But everybody saw me work my way out of it and in December on fire. And we're off to a halfway decent start here in January. So, you know, I don't make live videos because if you want to see me trade live, come join the room. You see me trade live every day. All right, guys. So have a great night, a great evening, or morning, depending on where you are. And we will see you tomorrow morning in chat.